Hi there, my name's Darrell, it's great to OMC you and welcome to Old Man Cycling. I've got a route planned in today of about 25 miles. It's got some hills and some quite severe hills at one point and some flat work. What I'm planning to do is really concentrate on managing the battery life. So if I need the motor, I'm going to use the motor, and when I don't need it, I'm going to keep it turned off, and I'll report back to you at the end how the battery has been depleted through just normal use and sensible management. At the moment, I'm about 2 miles into the ride, but I am getting a little bit of a twinge from one of my knees. So what I've decided to do is turn the motor onto its lowest setting, just to give me a little bit of assistance. And after all, that is why I had the e-bike in the first place, just to take the pressure off my knees. Now, later on in the ride, I should find that my knees loosen up a bit. That's usually what happens. After about 5 miles, the pain seems to disappear. It just tends to be in the early stages where I get more pain. So as I work the knees a little bit more and get a little bit more warmed up, they tend to be a little bit freer. But it is quite cold today. At the moment, the Wahoo's saying 3 degrees Celsius. So it will just take a little bit of time to warm up, but hopefully that should be fine before too long. But as somebody commented, there is no point having an e-bike and not using it. And even though I'm thinking today about motor management and battery management, I'm not trying to set any world records for how little battery I can use. I'm wanting a pleasurable ride at the end of the day, and so if the motor can help reduce the pain and have a more pleasurable ride, then that's what I'm going to do. At the moment, I'm about 6 miles into the ride, and as I predicted, my knees have eased off as they've warmed up, so that's less of an issue, and as a result, I've managed to turn the motor off, partly due to my knees loosening up, and also because the route has been a little bit flatter and at some points slightly downhill as well, which has helped. And so as a result, at the moment, I've used 4% of the battery, which is pretty good. So at the moment, I'm completely under my own power. Morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Now we've just done a little bit of a climb, and this climb is continuing. And so to enable me to talk and ride, I've got the motor on for this bit, and I've put it in its highest setting just to help me get up and stand some chance of talking to you as well. Right, I've knocked the motor down into level 2, but this is really now where all of the main climbing of this ride starts. We've got this little stretch that we're on now that's quite a bit of a pull, but this bit doesn't last for very long. But I do know in a short while there's a very steep bit that I've cycled before on my ordinary road bike, and it's really hard going. So she'll definitely be in maximum power for that stretch. So following that little bit of a climb, I've used 9% of the battery, and I'm 7.5 miles into the ride. We're now about to do the most steep little section. It's only a very short section, but it's quite steep, and then it becomes flatter but more sustained of a climb, and so I'll be in full power for this bit. So you probably can't tell from the video just how steep this is. It's nowhere near as steep as the climb I did in my last video, which was a 1 in 4 gradient. That was really quite steep. But I know when I last did this on my normal road bike, it was really hard going. Now I don't envision that it will be today, because where you can see the summit now, I think, is where it flattens out slightly. So it's only this section here, and at the moment I'm in a fairly low gear with full power assistance, and so it's not a great challenge. That was quite a steep climb, and it lasted for about 3/4 of a mile. During that, I did have the motor on full power to give me assistance, and for interest I used 8% of the battery power getting up that climb. So now we've got the descent, and I think I've got quite a lot of reasonably flat roads. There might be some slight inclines, and so I'll just use the motor for the next bit if I feel I'm really struggling. It's always a fun bit of a climb knowing that you've got a descent to follow, and this is quite a nice descent because it's not too windy, and so we don't have to worry about going fairly quick because it's quite a main road. And at the moment, with pretty much no pedaling, I'm up to 31.5 miles an hour. Just for interest as well, in the highest gear at 30 miles an hour, I can still pedal, and the gear ratios are giving me the ability to pedal at that kind of speed as well. So this is a route that I haven't ridden for a long time, certainly since I was really fit and I used to ride my road bike lots and lots. But it got to the point where I just wasn't confident enough with how my knees would hold up on that kind of climb, and so the ability that the e-bike has given me to do that kind of climb and have the confidence is really good. I am so pleased, because that opens up even more possibilities to possibly go out with the bike and travel to different locations, which is something that again I just haven't felt like I've been able to do with my road bike, just because of the uncertainty of how my knees will hold up. Look at this sky behind me, isn't it amazing? Moody sky. Now the route that I've taken today goes up the other side of that hill in the distance there that is known as Bosley Cloud. Now it dominates this area and can be seen from miles around. I don't quite know the height of it. I'll put the amount of climb that I've done on the screen now just to show you, and I'll show you a bit of footage that I've taken with my drone from the top of Bosley Cloud as well. Just here the road crosses the canal, but there is a really interesting feature a little bit further down the road that I want to show you, and I have been looking for this for a long while as I've driven past, and I've only noticed it today when I've cycled past. So let's go and have a look. So hopefully you can see through the hedge that there's an old World War II bunker that's just here, a little bit further down. There is the canal just up here, and down here is an old World War II gun emplacement that was put here to protect the canal should there be a German invasion during World War II. And there are not many of these left about in England, but this is one of them that was put up to protect the canal. That's the end of the ride. It's been a little bit longer than I expected. In total, I've done 26 miles because I did a little bit of a detour. And in total, I've used 23% of the battery. Now, the majority of that was on that big climb that I did, nearly 10% in fact, because I had the motor on full power, and so that did use quite a lot of battery power. But for the rest of the ride, I've barely used it at all. I used it at the beginning just to ease my knees, and then a few times since, just when I got some slightly bigger climbs just to help me out. But that goes to show that over a longer ride, if you multiply that up, 25 miles, virtually 25%, even with some big climbs. So I should easily be able to get somewhere between 75 miles and 100 miles worth of range using the motor in the way that I've used it today. If you have enjoyed that video, do let me know down below in the comments or nip over to my Facebook account. I really love reading your comments, and it's great knowing that the channel is growing really quickly and people are enjoying my content. Now, you can do me a really big favor by clicking like, subscribe and the bell notifications, because that really helps me out. It helps the channel to grow and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next time's video. That'll be uploaded very soon. In the meantime, it's been great to OMC you, and all that's left now is to say stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Wahoo. Just done all that and I wasn't recording. Feck. Oh, Wahoo's going nuts. Where should I have gone? I'm talking bollocks. I'm just talking rubbish. Badoosh.